Hey, this is Yelena, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am recording this video for all of you guys who are wondering what CSM actually is. You might be a sales professional looking to transition into CSM. You heard someone mention customer success management. You heard them mention maybe a little bit more consistency in the income, stability, right? And that's the reason why you're considering CSM, but you're not really entirely sure what that actually consists of. What is the role about? What is the day to day? What does it look like? And what are the expectations? Or maybe you're someone who's looking to transition into working remotely, maybe even for the first time ever. And again, I congratulate you on that decision because I've been working remotely for the last 7.5 years, and it's been the biggest blessing of my life for sure. My husband works remotely. He's still in sales. I have successfully transitioned from sales to CSM to leadership now after 2 years. So I want to share my screen and show you this is actually part of my paid program. I coach people like yourself who are ready to make the transition. And I help them, first of all, understand what is it that they're looking for, right? And then help them land positions, position themselves as experts despite not maybe having hands-on experience as a CSM. Now, this document you see here is part of the module 2, which is called the foundation, where we talk about the skills, what are the expectations, just so you have an idea of what are you getting yourself into. So before you apply for a single job, before you touch your resume to update it, before you record Loom videos, you really need to know and understand what are you actually applying for, right? And again, in some of my other videos, and of course in my coaching program, I talk a lot about Loom videos and how to sell yourself from the first moment, because the first impression is your Loom video. And unfortunately, a lot of people fail to deliver a good high quality Loom video. And I'm not even talking about the quality of the camera. I'm not talking about the background. I'm not talking about the mic or any fancy equipment. I'm talking about how you position yourself, the way you speak about your skills, your experience, and why are you looking for a new role right now. Unfortunately, I've seen people send like 1-year-old Loom videos where they're applying for closer positions or DM positions, and they send that over to me, who is recruiting for a CSM position at the time. So please play your card smart. Let's get into it. Now, customer success manager. You might heard customer success manager or account manager or founder success manager, right? So sometimes companies play around with the names. I mean, at the end of the day, most of them think of the same thing, right? And again, if you're not even sure, just read the role description and you're going to get the idea of what they're looking for. From my experience, what I've seen is that there's multiple different roles, customer success roles. And in SaaS, software as a service, it might mean that you're managing like up to 200 clients. And to some people, it sounds like, what the hell? Like, how can I manage 200 people? But the truth is, you're not having one-to-one coaching calls with them. You're managing their queries, maybe their subscriptions, maybe you're like DM or chat support, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, you have to read the role description before you apply, do a little bit of research on the company as well, just to understand what is the product you're selling. Now, in coaching or consulting, which is something that I've done before in my career, you're basically the bridge between the sale and the result. So they promise something and you deliver, voila, right? Of course, there are going to be situations where closers sometimes overpromise and then you have to keep up with the expectations. But I thankfully, I haven't been in many of those situations before, and hopefully you won't be either. If you find yourself in that problem, it's the company's problem, not yours. That's not the topic here, though. So, in coaching or consulting, you're basically there to help deliver the product. Sometimes it's a done for you product. I'm recruiting for a company that does lead generation for clients. And if you have some marketing experience or maybe not much, they're going to coach you and train you on how to write emails on behalf of clients, right? And that's not everybody's gig, and that's okay. But that's what you need to know. What are you willing to say yes to? Sometimes there's not much done for you aspect, and you're jumping on calls with people who already got access to services. And maybe there's even a different department of the company who is fulfilling the services. as an example, they create ads or content or copy, right? Now, sometimes it is one-to-one coaching calls, sometimes it's group coaching calls. So again, it really depends on the company that you're joining. Again, in both cases, whether that's us or coaching and consulting, you own the relationship, the result, and renewal. When it comes to renewals, again, every company is different, and sometimes they have really good processes in place, and they have good product that they're upselling their clients to, and sometimes there's no clear path forward because they don't have a good product they're selling. And this is actually a big opportunity for you as a customer success manager to come in and help them develop maybe a product or position the upsell better. So, what do you actually do day to day? Again, from my personal experience and hundreds of people I spoke to who are in the CSM world, we have 300 people in our free school community. If you want to join us, there's a link in the description of this video. And we talk about what our day to day looks like because it's hard for me to know what every industry does differently, right? So that's why it's important to connect with people and talk about their experiences. So, onboarding calls, this is the first call after sale has been processed. So, you set the expectations, you learn about their goals, you make sure they know how to start. And again, sometimes onboarding calls are one-to-one. They can be 30 minutes, 1 hour, 90 minutes. And I met a girl who joined a company and she does like 15-minute onboarding calls. Again, it all depends to the company. Check-in calls. Sometimes it is regular one-to-one coaching calls. It might be bi-weekly or monthly, depending on the sales process. What are they actually selling? Coaching conversations. So in my program as well, and in the free coaching community that I have, I talk a lot about SOPs, so standard operating procedure. So in the past couple of years, I have found my flow when it comes to coaching calls. And someone who has like high ticket sales background, not being a native English speaker, first of all, when I started a couple of years ago, I had a lot of limiting beliefs, talking, to camera, working from my laptop, like you name it, right? It was first time for everything. And when it comes to coaching calls, I try to help my clients and the companies that I recruit for develop very good standard operating procedures that they can implement. And that's exactly what I'm doing in my current role as well. I implement processes. Now, if you have a sales background, I usually tell you that you can think about a coaching call as a sales call. So you follow the structure of the opening, connecting like a little bit of rapport. Then you go into discovery. What is going well so far? What have they tried? What is the problem? What is the goal? Then you go into the pitch, which is like prescribing basically your solution. And then you have a little bit of like, is there any reason why you don't think this should work for you or this will work for you? So pretty much you follow like a structure. And it becomes your second nature, but it is very uncomfortable in the first, like, especially if you never had coaching experience before. And one of the big things that I work with my clients on is the actual confidence of showing up and coaching others. Because the truth is, you will have business owners who invested sometimes even $100,000 into a coaching program. They show up and they expect you to help them. And you never had a business that scaled to multiple figures, right? Maybe you never sold a product, you never had your e-commerce store, but you are now coaching others on it. And that's okay. Okay. So that's again topic for a different YouTube video. But if you are looking to get help with this, drop me a DM in my school community. Community and async support. So Slack, school, circle, Facebook groups, it really depends on how they communicate with their clients. Sometimes they want you to post in the group, to comment, to really foster that engagement and community aspect. And that's exactly what I absolutely loved about my last role with Matt Gray with Founder OS. Creating posts and sometimes even creating curriculum. It depends on how much the company actually trusts you. So I wouldn't say lucky because I worked my back off it for it, but I got enough trust from the company to actually create videos that became part of the curriculum, right? So it became part of the coaching program they were selling. DMs, emails, right? So this is all the communication that you were in charge of. renewals, this is a big part of your KPIs. So you basically own the renewal conversation and feed directly into it. Reporting, that's also part of your day-to-day tracking KPIs, client health, reporting if somebody is maybe like they're showing like red flag when it comes to potential churn risk or anything like this. And of course, dealing with escalations, favorite, right? Everybody loves angry clients. So when a client is unhappy or at risk, this comes to you first. And it's up to you to decide how you deal with it. Of course, again, something we talk a lot about in our school community, always the first step is to jump on a call with them. But then it comes back to the confidence and being able to handle this live on a call. So, how is it different from actual sales? If you're a closer, a DM setter, or a phone setter, this is how I think about it. After years spent in high ticket industry, and now again years in CSM, I see the big difference in the mindset of it. So in sales, you are a hunter. So success is measured what you bring in, like you go and you hunt, and maybe you do your own lead gen. And in CSM, you're more of like a farmer. So success is measured by what stays, expands, and renews. And you have more time and freedom to actually nurture relationships, to build relationships, because people that feel seen, heard, understood, and cared for are the people who renew. So this is not a downgrade from sales. It's just a different, slightly different skill set. And in many ways, it can be harder because you don't close, collect the money, and off you go, but you're actually there and you want and have to build that relationship. So it really matters what you say on that first call or second or fifth call, because that's the impression that they have of you. And based on that, they decide whether they really love the program or maybe not. Okay. So basically, what companies are looking for: can this person build trust with clients quickly? Can this person handle difficult situations without making them worse? Can this person drive outcomes, not just activity? Can this person communicate clearly and professionally? So, one of the questions I got, does this require, like most companies do want you to have some kind of experience, whether that's sales or CSM. But if you are coachable, if you are a fast learner, and most importantly, if you are an effective communicator, you can learn fast. There's absolutely no reason why you should not be considered for this role. Okay. So this is a little bit about the role. If you have any further questions, join our school community. There's 300 people just like yourself who are either transitioned successfully into CSM, they're either sales pros transitioning, or they're just curious about the role. Maybe they're already a CSM as well, who are upgrading their skills with me. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have questions, and we will see you over in school community.